here we have ourselves a PVZ. So let's get this started without further ado.
That's right. Here, game 1 playing on Oxide LE in the bottom left corner with the red pieces. Playing for Team Envy, it is Creator.
And spawning here at the top right, we have ourselves from the team of Dragon Phoenix Gaming. Give it up for Dark.
Very exciting. From what little I know, I believe Creator is also a macro-oriented Protoss.
Yeah, he doesn't really cheese that often. Yeah, I would say he's kind of more of a macro player. Maybe every once in a while, every blue moon, he can pull out cheese, but oh, actually, looks like someone had a little pause there. But like I was saying, yeah, he's more of a macro player, more of a standard player.
Again, we see that natural being taken at the third location for Dark. Nexus going up for Creator, and yeah, it just looks like a standard opener from both players.
Yeah, now the thing about Oxide LE is that he does have two potential third bases. Or I guess if you could look at a different perspective, two potential natural bases if your regular natural has been blocked. But yeah, it's interesting to see that Dark has gone for the 12 o'clock one instead of the triangular base. Sometimes we do see, of course, Zerg go for the triangular base, but I think with things like Oracle or maybe War Prism Harass, that sometimes the Zerg does prefer to go for the kind of the horizontal, kind of expanding.
That was so cute. Just for a moment there, that scouting probe and the drones from Dark were lined up perfectly, so it looked like they were moving as one unit. That was kind of scary. It looked like an alternate hybrid model for a second.
That is absolutely crazy. A world where probes and drones are walking hand in hand. That's like dogs and cats.
Cats
like,
and dogs.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Yeah, but like you said, Creator, definitely a macro-oriented player. We do see that Stargate opening. Stargate is just about to finish up. First Adept coming in here actually completes the shade into the natural because, of course, it is not completed. Not sure if Dark knows about it just yet, but yeah, the Adept is going to shade into the main where there are actually 4 lings out, so the Adept does not complete the shade. But for a second, no queens, no queens, no Zerglings. The Adept definitely does have a lot of potential in that kind of situation.
Yeah, these Adept's gonna go ahead and try to find anything here into the main base. It does see the spawning pool jiggling, so at the very least, he knows that speed has been researched here. Speed just kicked in, and it's gonna allow them to get us around here on this Adept and clean up the rest. So losing 2 drones there for 2 Adepts does favor, I would say, probably Dark. Maybe if he only lost 1 Adept, I would say it favors Creator, but I mean, all in all, it's still not anything like too game-changing or anything.
Yep, definitely. And we're seeing this really weird part in the game where, and this happens to pretty much every Zerg that I know of, but the Protoss actually has an 11-worker lead, right? We're just waiting for the Zerg to sort of explode. And there we go. Finally, 38 drones versus 41 probes. But it's never a good feeling. As a Zerg myself, it's like, do I really want to spend a whole drone to put down a safety spore when I know that I'm actually behind in the worker count?
Yeah, it's a tough thing to decide on sometimes. But I guess better safe than sorry, right? You gotta
definitely.
You gotta sacrifice that drone. I guess sacrifice that drone. It does at least pay in part that Creator did go for the Stargate opening, so Dark does go ahead and make use of those spore crawlers. Another Void Ray attack here at the third base, or I guess the natural base. Queens here will be able to shoo this away.
That Void Ray was definitely optimistic, looking for that Overlord kill, not quite able to get it, but Creator, like you said, being able to get a drone kill here and there, you know, it definitely adds up.
Yeah, for sure. Especially since, you know, if you can kind of even up the worker count. Oh, let's hold that thought. There is a big Ling attack here at this dirt base of Creator. Shield battery does get canceled, and oh, this is getting a little bit troublesome.
Troublesome is right. The Lings actually take care of pretty much all of the ground army. These 2 Void Rays will be 4 Void Rays will be enough to shoo it away. But yeah, that was a little bit dicey for a second, and it buys Dark just a little bit more time, you know, do a few more things on his side of the map.
All right, now these ragtag group of Void Rays will be flying here to the natural, finding some damage done. There's only 3 queens here to defend. Oh, actually, the rest of the queen reinforcement will go ahead and join up, but Creator, I think, could have gotten a bit more damage done. Might been able to snipe down a queen, but will be a little bit more cautious as he does not want to lose those Void Rays.
Yep, definitely. We do see a Spire coming out for Dark. Possibly, I believe, probably Mutas, right? Mutas obviously are not armored, and so don't take additional damage from the Void Rays. And that's even if they do actually engage the Void Rays, which, of course, if you're playing with Mutas, you're not looking to engage anything. You're just looking for those worker kills.
Yeah, now, surprisingly, I would say, like, Void Rays actually do okay against Mutalisk. If the numbers are relatively close. I mean, if the Zerg playlist has a relatively high number of Mutalisks compared to the Void Rays, then it gets easier, of course. But in fairly even, you know, numbers, the Void Rays actually hold their own. So he might transition into Mutalisk, or he might actually mix it up with Mutalisk and Corruptors. We shall see once that Spire pops out.
Yep, definitely. We do see a couple of Oracles coming in, looking to see what other damage they can do. Obviously, 2 Oracles do one-shot a drone. Queens are here, about to shoot them away. We see 12 Mutalisks coming out as these Oracles continue to get damage done. This is actually bordering on too much damage, I would say. 8 drones is nothing to shrug at.
Yeah, and the most important part, he scouted the Spire. So now you see in the production tab, 3 Phoenixes in production at the same time. You already had 3 Stargates to start off with. This is going to be so good for Creator, as these Mutalisks, I don't think they're going to find too much damage with these Phoenixes out.
Yep, definitely. Muta's sort of cheap, or not sort of, but definitely cheaper than both Phoenixes and Void Rays, hence why these Void Rays can possibly handle the Mutas on their own, as we do see the Void Rays about to get tagged. The Mutas do finally back off, just for now, as we see more Phoenix production coming out of these triple Stargate.
Yeah, now he doesn't want to overdo it on the Phoenix count. He just wants to make enough, right amount of Phoenixes to deal with these Mutalisks. If you don't see or scout the Zerg making additional Mutalisks, you can kind of stop at a certain point. And then reallocate your rest of the gas resources to different tech, like Archons or something. But with the tag on the Mutalisk, he sees that there are a bunch more being added, so he's going to continuously make those Phoenixes.
Yeah, I do have to say, this is a lot of Mutalisks, right? Like, this is definitely a commitment by Dark. Constant tags, excellent, well done by Creator, knowing where those Mutas are at any given time, and just, you know, being able to zone them out, making sure that the Mutas don't find free kills in some random mineral line. But yeah, Snoopy, you called it. We do see 8 Corruptors on the production tab, so we're going to see some Sky Zerg action. More than we already have seen.
Yep, and the thing is, there's a big ground unit here for Creator, and it's looking like he might want to go ahead and start attacking this triangular base here. Now Dark can invest all he wants into those Corruptors, but he still needs something for those for the ground, right?
Exactly. All that's left really on the ground would be Queens. And don't get me wrong, Queens are great, especially when you have transfuses, but these Corruptors are essentially dead weight when you're considering the main fighting force of Creator, as it does begin to move forward, clear out some creep tumors. They actually move through that choke, and yeah, this fight, we're gonna have to wait to see how it goes down. We do see the queens popping transfuses left and right. Nita's actually diving on top of everything, backing up just for a second. Corruptor's doing their work. The Phoenix count is still kind of high, and all of the queens are cleaned up as the Zealots move forward. Yeah, this was definitely not a good fight by Dark, as we see him taking, as we see Creator, excuse me, taking a sizable supply lead.
Yep,
Oh,
and
wow.
gonna have to tap out. So GG, Critter with a nice timing push. All right, we are back here for game number 2. And without further ado, let's go ahead with our first player introduction.
All right, game number 2. Spawning here in the top left corner on Lightshade LE, it is the blue Protoss playing for Team NV, Creator.
And spawning here at the bottom right side, we have our red Zerg player, hailing from Korea, playing for the team of Dragon Phoenix Gaming and looking to tie up the series. Can he do it? It is Dark.
You know, for a second there, I was reminded of some, I mean, comparatively low-level games that I play, right? Where I just overmake Corruptors, and it's like, wait a second, they're not going Sky Toss. They have a bunch of Archons and Zealots and things that don't, you know, that are on the ground and I need to shoot down at. Like, it's just, it's never a good feeling as the Zerg. It's like, oh, well, I guess I just get steamrolled and I don't have a ground army or an anti-ground army.
Yeah, I get you. I understand what you mean. I mean, and it's hard to even say, like, because, you know, you see that the Protoss opened up with all these Void Rays and you're like thinking, okay, he must be going for an all-out air army, especially when he's opening up with 3 Stargates. Maybe sometimes you see Protosses open up with 2 Stargate and kind of then transition to ground. They have a more higher chance of transitioning to ground because they're not as super committed to the Stargates. But with 3 Stargates, with all those Void Rays, you're like thinking, okay, yeah, he's definitely going for all-out air, you know, army supply or army ball there. And then you just make all these Corruptors, and then in the end, you clean up the... Now, granted, they did clean up the rest of the Void Rays, but at the end, you know, they were kind of not able to chase down the Phoenixes, and they can't, of course, defend on the ground. So, a little bit unfortunate for Dark there.
That's right. Well, Dark changing things up just a little bit here, taking a very early third. I believe that was a 20 or 21 third. I like to call it the Korean third because, you know, it is a bit of a catch-all term, but I have only seen Koreans play it where they, in lieu of getting the first 2 queens out, they just get 1 queen instead of 4 Zerglings. I believe it's like 2 Zerglings, as we do see on the field here on the map, and they just like to get a quicker third. I'm not actually sure if that is beneficial enough, but I'm sure it is for Dark.
Yeah, I mean, he's a world champion. I mean, I guess we shouldn't, you know, doubt him. But yeah, you know, this kind of reminds me, as you know, do the term the Korean third base. Back in the day, in Wings of Liberty, you know, Protoss had a common build order called the 4-gate. And then, at some point, there was a term called the Korean 4-gate.
Oh.
And this Korean 4-gate, somehow, some way, a hit at a couple of seconds earlier than usual. And that will catch the opponent off guard. And so, whenever I think we refer to something like a Korean build or a Korean hatchery or whatever, or a Korean build order, it kind of refers to a scenario where the build order is optimized to hit at a slightly earlier timing, and that's kind of similar to what we have here with a slightly earlier third base.
Yep, that poor scouting overlord has seen some things. That overlord has been to war, finally finding the high ground on the pervert pillar, as the stalker is not satisfied. You know, the stalker is like, where's my kill? I want that kill, but not going to be able to get it. Now, we do see Creator going for that Twilight Robo opening, looking to get a bit, a lot more aggressive with that DT Shrine going down.
Oh, okay. So it's going to be up to Dark to prepare for this. Now, there's one thing to prepare for the Glaive Adepts. There's another to prepare for the Dark Templars. Now, the good news for Dark is that he does have preemptive spore crawlers at each of his bases. It's going to be up to him to spread his army to make sure that his spores are not going to be able to just get sniped down by these Dark Templars. And then he's going to be run out of detection because he does not have any lair tech on the way.
Yeah, both players definitely gearing up saying, okay, you want to go to war? Let's go to war. We do see Ravagers coming out onto the field. Adepts shading in, not completing the shade as the Lings are just too much. Would have been able to get this round. But yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see if these DTs, when they do spawn in, are they actually going to get a lot of damage? Or is it just going to be a dud and Dark holds?
Alright, looks like the Creator is going to go ahead and fly into the main base, but we'll get greeted here by these Queens and the Lings. Oh no, that is absolutely horrible.
Even the Bile connected because they were surrounded as these 4 DTs finally do come in here to the third. They target down the Spore Crawler. Yeah, okay, well, now the DTs are undetectable, but that Adept surround was absolutely huge. We do see Creator floating a little bit of money as he focuses on the engagement. Spore Crawler being transfused at the third. Ling's going for a massive counterattack as Dark decides that he has enough, which of course is not the case because the Spore Crawler was targeted down yet again.
Yeah, this third base I think might go down for good. Although actually, as I say that, Lair has just recently been finished, so this Overseer might be able to. Oh, additional Dark Templars has been warped in, and this hatchery will get sniped down.
Oh my gosh. What a game so far. Both players taking not necessarily worker losses, but still definitely putting each other a little bit further behind in terms of economy, right? We do see the bases going down. These Lings in the front aren't exactly going to be able to get much done, but they did get the cancel on the Nexus, of course. Now, we do see not only a third hatch and roaches, we also see a Spire. Dark loving that Spire play in this series so far. Oh no! Dark actually going for a quick fourth as soon as I finish that thought.
Oh man. Well, Ling's gonna be, I guess, gonna be consistently pesky here, but yeah, like you mentioned, the Spire has gone down, is about to finish. This should be able to allow him for some anti-air to snipe down that War Prison, so that's good. But so far these Lings not quite able to get much damage done. Maybe he can get us around here on this Archon. Oh,
the Archon actually. Oh,
that was
Creator,
close.
excellent Archon micro. We do see the War Prism from Creator coming in. A single Archon, not necessarily your traditional Archon drop where you of course have 2 Archons in the War Prism, but not going to be able to find much damage done as Dark's Lings are again sharking around, just keeping tabs on the Protoss army, saying, hey, are you here? Yes, you're here. Okay, everything's fine.
Oh, those Mutalisks are about to pop out. Now, keep note that there is only 5 Mutalisks on the production tab. He's only using this to kind of hunt down the War Prism and keep the harassment low. But once this +1 range attack hits or gets finished upgrading, I'd imagine that Dark is going to go ahead and go for a scary push.
Yep, scary push is right. This game so far has been relatively low economy. They are exactly even now on workers, both at 63 workers apiece. But like you said, a lot of roaches on the production tab. We only see, I believe, 1 immortal on the field as these Lings, I believe it was Lings coming through, and actually, yeah, those mutas finding a decent amount of damage in the natural mineral line, now going for the main. Wow.
Wow, yeah, these 5 Mutalisks has done more than enough damage, and worst of all is kind of forcing the Creator to invest in so many Blink Stalkers, and I'm not quite sure he wants to have a huge army consisted of just mainly Blink Stalkers. I think Blink Stalker is not the best in the PvZ matchup. But here we go. Nice force field to catch some of these Zerglings.
Oh wow! And actually, I believe there was an Archon drop at the natural of Dark that took down a decent amount of drones. But yeah, Creator was posturing for a bit with the Stalkers, a bit to the left side. Now at the bottom left side, posturing again. But these Mutas they've been finding damage. Now there's only 3 of them left, so Dark obviously not looking to really use them for defense, as we do see the Roaches and Ravagers and Lings engage the main Stalker force. Those Immortals, I mean, they do damage, but this is a lot of Zerg to push through.
Yeah, they're holding strong thus far, and very aggressive blink forward. I'm not sure if that was the correct choice there.
That's right. Now we do see a lot of Ravagers, a lot of Biles, some of them connecting, and of course one Bile connecting is enough. We do see another blink forward. Muta's reinforcing, Lings on the production tab, Roaches on the production tab, and GG is called.
Alright, we are here for the decisive game number 3 to decide who will advance to the next stage, to the next round. TeaDragon, take it away.
Yes, sir. Game 3. Spawning here in the bottom left corner on 2000 Atmospheres LE. Playing as the Blue Zerg. For Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is Dark.
And spawning here at the top right, we have our red Protoss playing for Team NV, which is a newly developed team. It is Creator.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe on this map, Protoss can wall off the natural with 2 buildings. I think.
Yep.
I've never successfully done it, but...
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Pretty sure.
Just a little bit easier for the Protoss to defend.
Now, I have a little bit of a question. Probably not sure if you have the answer to it, but why do you think this map was named 2000 Atmospheres? Why not 2001 Atmospheres? Or maybe
yeah, dude,
3000 or something.
Yeah, no, seriously, right? Like, why of all the numbers, why 2000?
Maybe there's like
we might have to
2000 particles somewhere on this map or something. I'm not sure.
Maybe they layered on 2,000 different tile sets to produce these colors. Who knows?
But yeah, sometimes it's pretty funny how some certain maps are named.
Oh, definitely. And then we've got, just absolutely beautiful maps with appropriate names. King's Cove, Abyssal Reef. Just all-time, or in my opinion, classics.
Or maybe Romanticide as well. That's a nice name.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. It fits the color palette of that map. Definitely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, so we do see the same opening as last game from both players. We do see not from last game, but Creator going for the Stargate opener and Dark going for the quick Korean third. I have to say that.
And this, of course, gets scouted as Creator has that scouting probe there. Of course, a couple of links being made to shoo away this scouting probe. But, this is one of the maps that it's kind of, I would say, okay to hide some tech. Now, granted, of course, Dark did not send his second Overlord towards to the right side of Creator's base, so he's only going to have one Overlord to scout. Now let's see if this Overlord dies at the... Oh, as I say that, 2 links suddenly bypass the wall here, and we'll get full scouting vision of the Protoss main base.
That is correct. Now, I've noticed that Dark likes to play extremely safe, pumping out a lot of lings in the early game, and, just being okay with taking that drone deficit. Now, I'm not sure if any other Zerg would agree with this decision, but it has definitely worked out for Dark so far, right? Being able to ensure that those 2 Adepts can't really not only get any drone kills, but also cannot really scout anything Now we do see this Void Ray at home, going to be able to make sure that the Lings can't do any additional damage. No Lings can get in like last time. But yeah.
I like what Dark is doing right now. He's taking the watchtower, and look, it seems like season after season, there's like less and less maps with watchtowers. I remember in the like beginning of the Legacy of the Void, like almost every map had watchtowers on them. At the very least, Wings of Liberty and Heart of the Swarm, like most maps had the watchtowers. They were so important, but it seems like they've been removed over time, and it's like less frequent, and so you know the importance of them has kind of shrunk. Oh, did I miss something? Oh, I did miss something.
The Oracle actually got sniped by the Queens just in time after getting 3 drone kills.
Ah, okay, there we go.
But also, Snoopy, I have to disagree with you. I mean, every single 2v2 map that I play on has watchtowers, so I don't know. No, of course, just joking. I definitely agree. It seems like watchtowers, you know, they are a very non-offensive mechanic in the game. I personally love them because, you know, they reward whichever player controls them, of course, and not in an overt way. It's just, you know, vision.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do see some potential aggression coming out from Dark as, I mean, yes, he does take a fourth, but that Baneling Nest is about to finish, and we do see +1 melee on the way.
Ah, yeah. So we might see him now. Either this is for aggression, but I think it also could be for defensive reasons because these groups of the depths is making his way across the map, and if he can get this around of the depths with the Lings and then kind of connect them with the Banelings, that could be a really great hold here.
Oh, definitely. Now we do see this line of Queens standing strong so far. The Adepts not brave enough to complete the first shade, as there were Banelings and Zerglings on their trail, just as they are now. We do see two additional Stargates coming out of Creator, so definitely looking to go to that Skytoss sort of army.
Yeah, this is one of the, of course, transition that you can do after Glaive Adepts. Now you got to be careful that you don't just outright lose to Roach counterattack. But the Roach Warren, he did scout that there was no Roach Warren here, so that Roach attack is going to be delayed. And so by the time if he does move out across the map with these Roaches, he should have enough Void Rays to defend.
Yep, that's right. Now we do see this massive Lings preventing the fourth from going up, which is actually pretty important at this stage in the game. Now these Adepts are going to be able to shoo away the Lings, make sure that they don't go into the that they're not going to get into the natural so far. Yeah, both players looking to power up so far.
Yep, so far Creator though is doing a little bit more powering up, as his income grab does favor him for the majority of the game. Now of course Dark is up in workers, but by not too much, so that kind of explains why Creator does have a little bit of a income advantage here, but not too crazy, of course. In the meantime, both players are teching up, and you guys can see Fleet Beacon has been thrown down for the Protest. So this time around, he is going to go for that full-on air tech.
Yeah, now we do see these Lings, just a few of them, not enough to actually get any probe damage done, but definitely enough to make sure that Creator is on his toes, sort of keeping up with what's going on. And are these Lings going to be able... Nope, the Adepts complete their shade, and those Lings are not going to be able to contest that fourth any longer, as we do see quite a few Void Rays out on the field.
Yeah, now the thing is that usually Protoss would spread their Void Rays, and it's for reasons like this, failing run-bys. Unfortunately, there is no Void Ray to detect this, but there is an Oracle that will be able to scout this ahead of time, and also some nice defensive cannons to help deal with this. So nicely done there.
Yep, very nicely held. Only some structures going down for Creator, as we do see the main Void Ray force engaging the Queens over on the side of Dark, but yep, for now, both players are just going to back off, continue doing their thing.
You know, I would really love to see these Void Rays circumvent and go to the left side. I think his the left side is much more easier to attack because you can kind of dance around the main base and that triangular base. And then now also with that 9 o'clock base, you can kind of take that down as well. So looks like that's exactly what Creator is going to go for.
Yep, that's right. Creator did have the same idea as he actually gets surrounded with the Adepts. So those Adepts not really worth much in the end. Now these queens do engage the Void Rays. I don't think this is all of the Void Rays. I think, yep, some of them are split off. Actually, a lot of them are split off. We do see a Mothership on the production tab. I love it. We are going full Sky Toss this game.
Yep, and it does not serve Dark well because look at Dark's army. So much is invested into Lings and Roaches, and even throwing down some Ravagers. Now, spoiler alert, Roaches and Lings don't attack up into the air. So, yeah, I don't see these units getting too much done against these Void Rays and Carriers. So I actually like where Creator's at right now.
Oh, definitely, but okay, hold up. You're telling me Lings can't fly in the air with those wings on their backs? Come on.
Yeah,
that is the
no.
biggest disappointment.
You know, some people have dreamed that Lings can fly like cows can fly in their dreams. You know? And then there's also that saying like Red Bulls gives you wings. So that that might be an option, but I have never tested that. So.
Oh no, and this is actually a huge catch for Creator. Getting the cancel on all of those Banelings, and of course that is a lot of gas that is being costed. But Dark, of course, both players actually maxed out. Dark building up a bank, looking possibly to get rid of some of this ground army. Now, these Infestors do have a lot of potential, as they do have a lot of energy, and Neural Parasite is about to finish. But, you know, in the end, it's still just a main army of Roaches and Ravagers with some Infestor, aka Spellcaster, backup against a full-blown Skytoss army. So I just, like you said, I really don't like Dark's position in this game. I really like Creator's position.
Yeah, same here. And you know what? I wouldn't mind if Creator just hide a little bit longer his carrier attack. I mean, for the longest time, he's been hiding them. I mean, I'm sure Dark has an inkling that carriers are on the field, but if you can kind of hide them, you can kind of maybe delay when Dark transition into full Corruptors. And I think, you know, you can catch the Protoss by surprise. Or not, sorry, not the Protoss, the Zerg by surprise.
Okay, we do see an Ultra Den on the way, as well as a couple of Vipers. So Dark definitely looking to basically ignore the Sky Toss and go for a full ground army that is strong enough and just sort of bust through the Protoss bases. Now, I do like that idea in theory. In practice, though, if you're not Raynor, I'm not that confident that you can pull it off. Now, I'm not saying that I don't doubt Dark's skills. I just think that, you know, depending on how well Creator holds that kind of ground aggression, I don't think it's going to go well.
Oh, a little bit of a Ling and Baneling run by here at the top side. Force Field kind of blunder here as these Lings and Banelings does go through. But again,
yep,
taking down some.
Yeah. Oh, excellent Neural Parasites on the Void Rays and the Ravager Biles. Yeah, I love it. Dark is basically playing two different European styles here. Playing the Ultras, which I believe Raynor is famous for, and also the Infestor Ravager that I believe Cyril pioneered against Skytoss.
Yeah, Infestors in general so good against air attack of the Protoss. First the Fungos, so you can lock them in place so they can't run away. And then also Neural Parasite, you can control some of these Void Rays and Carriers, or even the Mothership. And then of course the very, I guess, less popular spell, the Microbial Shroud, does help decrease the air attack on your army. So Infestors in general and overall, well, a good counter to the air tech of the Protoss.
Yep, indeed. Now we do see this hit squad of Void Rays going all the way into the natural. Infestors are burrowed and headed back up into the main where all of the tech is, where the Void Rays are headed, while at the same time this main Mothership carrier force is trying to get an angle So a bit of double-pronged action, which I do like. But these Void Rays, again, get enrolled. Now they all are forced to kill each other as these carriers, again, are posturing. But this Spore Forest is really denying Creator any sort of positioning potential in the middle of the map.
This one Void Ray will unfortunately die to the Spore Caller. So well micro there by Dark, but here is the main fight. So much carry on the field, and all these High Templars getting on top on by these Ultras and Ravagers.
Wow, that fight went amazingly for Dark. I don't know how Dark did it. I mean, you've got so many different armies to micro. Now, granted, Dark did lose a lot of Ravagers and a lot of, I believe, Roaches and Ultralisks, but Ultras in this scenario are meant to die. You just want to take care of what's on the ground for the Protoss, that being those High Templar, which, as you said, some of them did go down. Now, the main issue becomes, how do you deal with these big beefy carriers, because they definitely pack quite a punch and they need a lot to take them out. And like you mentioned earlier, Roaches, Ravagers, Lings, Ultras, they don't shoot up, so this will definitely be an issue if Dark is looking to go on the offense, as we do see that Spire coming up.
And I think Dark is thinking the same way as you do, as he is throwing down the Spire to help deal with the carriers. Of course, he needs to buy some time for that Spire to be up and running, and in the meantime he's going to go ahead and try to harass with the remaining Ling and Banelings here onto the right side. It does get 13 nice probe kills, so not too shabby.
Oh, and is Dark actually gets the 5th base as well, so definitely very good trade, using these Lings to the best of their ability. Now, of course, when I say trade, I don't necessarily mean mineral for mineral. I just mean that I believe Dark is maintaining, and extending his economic lead in this game so far.
Yeah, for sure. You see that kind of reflected in the workers' difference, as well as, let's see, the income graph. Yep, all blue right now in favor of a Dark. Now, yeah, you can be behind in the income. The main thing is the army fight, the army engagement. Right now, they're kind of banking on getting that huge big fight win, and here we go.
Microbial Shroud being used. Oh my gosh. Spore Forest does get eaten into a little bit. Some transfuses going down, but yeah, so far Creator saying nope, I am not going to try to engage this, as he does take a little bit of additional damage to a Ling run by up in the north.
And looks like another second Spire being thrown down to help upgrade the air. I would assume it's going to be Corruptors. But once again, adding more Ultras. What do you think about this? Adding more Ultras into a fight that doesn't really have a lot of ground, or at least High Templars left.
Yeah, honestly, the Ultras, as long as they can take care of the Disruptors, which actually get an excellent shot, that is not the kind of trade that you want to be taking as Dark. If the Ultras do manage to take out all of the ground, especially the Disruptors, the High Templar, then maybe, just maybe, the Infestors might have a shot at the air. But look at this, Microbial Shroud going down, and yes, the Ultras are surviving, but how do you deal with the carriers? There is no proper anti-air. There's no dedicated anti-air in the Zerg army at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, Queens are good, but they're not that good against that many Interceptors, and they're not even focusing fire on the carriers. And even if they did, I don't think it would even help right now. There's just not a lot of anti-air. 9 Corruptors in the production tab, but 9 Corruptors against, let's see how many carriers here. 16 carriers with 8 interceptors each, with plus 2 weapons, or yeah, plus, I believe, yeah, that's plus 2 weapons on each of those interceptors. That is a tall order.
Yeah, Dark definitely doing his best with the ground army to sort of find damage, as we do see an Ultra run by at the same time as the main army is engaging. Disruptor shot does go out, does connect on the Ultras, but again, that's what the Ultras are for. They're there to tank damage. Corruptors are out on the field, 12 more on the production tab. I think Dark has finally realized, okay, I need Corruptors and I need them now. This is too many carriers on my doorstep. I have taken care of essentially what is the entire ground army. Now I just have to deal with the carriers.
Yeah, unfortunately though, I feel like he invested a little bit too much onto those Ultralisks. and now he doesn't have enough resources to make enough corruptors. I mean, this spore callers are actually pulling off pretty decently, and these infestors doing some nice narrow parasite, but just not quite enough, I don't think.
I don't know where the observer is because there's only one observer out on the field, but these infestors do actually get taken out. Carriers do back off for a little bit, but not before they take down about 20 workers with them and a base. Things are not really looking too good for Dark. Like you said, Dark invested too much into the ground army and just didn't have enough. Traded very poorly with this air army that is essentially untouched.
Now the carriers on the other side are doing some nice, decent damage though. These Ultralists cleaning up a lot of these buildings, but there's still a lot of carriers out in the field. Some nice narrow parasite. Again, like you said, no observer to speak of here in this army. Is there any observer out in the field? Nope. Looks like there's not even a single observer here out in the field. But these spore colors will finally get cleaned up, and looks like we have ourselves a little bit of a base trade.
Oh, this is crazy, Snoopy. We see the corruptors going across to creator's side of the map where there are basically no workers left. We see Lings chomping through all of the buildings, Ultras doing significant damage up in the main, and these corruptors, you know, if they do manage to find carriers out individually, just like they did with that one, they might have a shot at this. Yep, GG is called. Dark takes game number 3.